A PBS NewsHour investigation has revealed that Donald Trump, who received a lot of criticism from us fairly late in the Republican primary for not knowing what a ground game is, apparently a significant portion of the way into the general election doesn't know what a ground game is still. Classic loser Donald. So let's talk about his ground game, what he has and what he doesn't have. So if you can bring up the first graphic, you're going to see some numbers there. So look, we're going to have 15 battleground states, Clinton and Trump. The number of offices in these important states is really where the election is going to be decided. And you're seeing there 291 campaign offices for Hillary Clinton in those most important states, including huge numbers in some of them, like Pennsylvania and Florida, two incredibly important states, 36 and 34. Ohio also important and actually very close at this point, 36. So 291 total. Let's bring up Trump in those same battleground states. 88.
Show.
Show. He has very tiny operation there. And I think that we have a side-by-side as well that we can bring up.
Yeah, and he's hands-on here, so tiny hands-on.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I mean, I understand that he wants to run a different sort of campaign. It's supposed to be a very different sort of thing. But at the end of the day, you still have to get your message out to voters. They still have to know what's actually going on. And at this point, if that's what he has, I don't know how he's supposed to register enough people to vote, make sure that they have transportation to the polls, make sure that his literature is distributed, all of the little boring day-to-day things that hundreds of different campaign offices typically do. Now, I want to break down a couple of specific examples in some of the states that will probably end up deciding this election. In Virginia, where Hillary Clinton has 29 field offices open, Trump has 18, but it's actually worse than that sounds because all 18 of those are Republican Party offices. They're not Trump offices. They just happen to be offices for the Republican Party. Now, his campaign says that he's about to open 25 of his own. You're going to see a lot of those, oh, trust us, soon we'll have tons of offices, quotes. Next, in Pennsylvania, they have 2 Trump offices, North Carolina, 1, Florida, just 1. And that's his Sarasota headquarters. Those 4 Trump offices cover 165,000 square miles of critical battleground territory. Clinton has 125 times as many offices.
So
now look, one of the reasons she has all those offices is because she has a ton of money, and she's gotten that money through the normal sorts of ways that we hate here at TYT. But she has the money, and she's going to use it, and that has got to be hurting him. It's one of the reasons that the election is as close as it is. Her personal history and corruption and all that, those are other good reasons. It's just pathetic. Now, really, really fast, finally, his campaign says that in the coming days and weeks they're going to add 132 offices. And his campaign would never lie.
Yeah, doubt it. Okay, so the reason why it being GOP offices rather than Trump offices is relevant is twofold. One is that means Trump hasn't done anything. Like, what's he doing all this time? He knew he was going to be the candidate for months and months and hasn't set up a single office in Florida. That's insanity.
Oh, he has a single.
No.
He's one.
Well, is that a Republican office or a Trump office?
No, that one apparently is
Okay,
his.
all right. So it doesn't have a single one in Virginia. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then second reason why it's important is because the Republican Party does not have to do what Trump wants. So if during the stretch of the election, the last 2 weeks, last month, it looks like Trump's going to lose, they could redirect all their resources to the Senate and congressional races, in which case Trump is in an even bigger hole because he doesn't control those offices.
Yeah.
You knucklehead, they're supposed to be your offices, but you never set any of them up because you're an idiot. Yeah. This is not a different way of doing things. One, he doesn't have as much money. So, okay, that's, not that he didn't try. He begged all those same Republican donors. He went and paraded around and promised them all sorts of things, but he was just too much of a loser to be able to pull off getting more money. If he had taken a principled stand not to take the money, I'd say, hey, that's great. Let's, trying to find a different way to win is great. Okay, that's not what happens. Number 2, it goes to show you, and why he'll probably ultimately lose the election. Because he really, as a populist, had a good chance of winning this election. People like to switch after 8 years of one party. Hillary Clinton is the most unpopular candidate ever next to Donald Trump. I mean, he had such a golden opportunity to win.
And she's so easy to attack.
Yes, but he's such a serial bungler that he's like, I don't know, we got to set up offices? No, his management style is total and utter incompetence. I'm positive that he did not, delegate that in a way that would have given them the ability to set up critical offices in swing states. And that disadvantage is unbelievable. In Florida and Pennsylvania, that's 2 out of the 3 most important states, and you throw in North Carolina, there's 3 swing states, 100 offices Hillary Clinton has. He has 4. The guy can't manage his way out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
This is not some sort of grand strategy. No, he just doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah. And look, part of it is, like you said, that he was very slow to get his fundraising in order. And look, I think he really should have continued on. Again, he was never actually self-funding his campaign. He was always accepting money. But he wasn't accepting huge money and coordinating clearly with super PACs and everything. He should have just continued with that, because even now that he's gotten rid of all of his principles and he's accepting money from rich Republican donors and corporations and all of that. And we saw a month or 2 ago, the most recent fundraising numbers, he's actually starting to do better. It's not that he doesn't have any money, it's that he doesn't know how to spend it. Rachel Maddow was talking about how he just had a day or 2 ago, he rented a massive stadium to do a speech in Washington State, where he's down by 20 points. That money is great if, as you had said during one of the breaks, you want to just set up to do a media empire, you need to get fans in all these important markets, that's fine. But it's a waste of money in terms of winning the election. And if he is down in fundraising, he's basically every day giving a couple of middle fingers to his supporters, because if he's as rich as he says he is, this supposed billionaire, he could drop $200 million tomorrow and set up thousands of campaign offices. He chooses not to. He's not a serious individual. He doesn't actually care about these people that he supposedly represents.
Okay, so by the way, he's wasting your donor money for his media empire later, because your donor money should not go to the state of Washington. The Republicans have no chance of winning that state. No matter who the candidate is, Trump has less than a 0% chance of winning that state. He's basically telling you, sucker, I took your money and used it for my purposes. Yeah. And hey, if you've got $10 billion, as he claims, $200 million is a drop in the bucket. When are you going to spend it? Now, you got to go. There's 70 days left before the election. If you actually care to win this election and you were actually a billionaire, you would definitely spend $200 million to get going. And it's one thing to say, hey, I've got a quick and nimble strategy. And I actually just gave him credit in another clip for that in regards to Mexico. He gets an invitation on Tuesday. He's there on Wednesday. Good. That's a quick, nimble strategy. Yeah. And you're not weighed down by the bureaucracy of Hillary Clinton. This, on the other hand, is not the same. There is no quick and nimble strategy for getting out the vote. There is no other way that you have people on the ground who knock on doors, who make phone calls, and who get your supporters to show up and actually vote for you. You have to do that hard work. There's no magic bullet for that. Yeah. And he won't do the hard work. He's lazy, he's incompetent, he doesn't know how to do it. So there's no secret strategy. He's an idiot. So he's not going to get out these white voters that he needs, the independent white voters that are so, if he was going to win, that's how he'd win. But he's not going to, because he didn't do the hard work and wouldn't understand what competence is if it slapped him across his orange face.
You can get the full 2-hour show commercial-free by becoming a member. TYTnetwork.com/join.